Yeah. Do you remember how, after dying in the same place a dozen times in your favorite game, how you'd calm down to keep from chucking your joystick across the room? Yeah, you'd flip that little switch on the back of the set from game to TV and unwind with your favorite cartoon, or maybe you'd go in the backyard and play with your favorite action figures. As grown-ups, we still need a way to decompress and take a break from our stresses. So in this video, I'm going to show you a modern production that delivers on those Gen X feels, and best of all, it's free right here on YouTube. Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, and I am a Gen X grown-up. Thank you for clicking on this video. You know, I'm always on the lookout for anything that transports the kid in me to a simpler time, and that's just what the team over at Mark and Mark's Mission Lab is doing. Mark and Mark's Mission Lab is a live-action episodic series featuring action figures as the on-screen talent. Not stop motion, but stories told by full-motion action figures moving in real time, just like we did when we were kids. Steve, we've got to defuse that bomb. Don't worry, Oscar, I won't let you down. Mark and Mark follows the adventures of two battle-hardened military operatives and lifelong BFFs, Mark and Mark, as they battle the forces of evil while also combating the workplace bureaucracy of their secret organization. Characters are brought to life using action figures from lines like G.I. Joe, Mythic Legions, and others, and all the action takes place on custom-built sets constructed in the basement, where creators Mike Welsch and Seth Rems make it all happen. I spoke with Mike and Seth, and I asked them what inspired them to create Mark and Mark's Mission Lab.
So throughout the years, Mike and I have always worked on creative projects together, but we finally reached a point in our lives where we were able to come together and create a show of this magnitude. Mike and I are both full-time dads, and we don't exactly have a lot of free time. But that challenge is also exactly what inspired us from the start, because it's our kids and what they were watching that gave us the idea for this show. There seems to be a lot of YouTube watching these days, and watching other people play with toys as opposed to playing with the toys themselves.
And we like to talk about how this era in general is the era of peak nostalgia. And we thought, what's nostalgic to us? And it's what we grew up playing with was G.I. Joes and other action figures and things like Matchbox toys.
And shows like Showdown and Inspector Gadget, stuff that was available 40 years ago is still available today.
Right, and the toys from those shows, you can see Masters of the Universe toys, you see G.I. Joe toys on the shelf, but do the kids actually play with these? Are they still popular? So we kind of wanted to create the show to ensure that the kids of today get to experience what we got to experience, which was creating your own stories and playing with G.I. Joes and, you know, being creative on your own rather than watching other kids do it themselves.
Yeah, we don't want to see these toys fall off the shelf and then this newer generation not grow up knowing what G.I. Joe or He-Man was. So we're trying to take those while they're still available in this era of peak nostalgia and wrap it directly into what we create so that the kids of this newer generation can enjoy what we enjoyed growing up.
If that's what the guys were shooting for, I think they're nailing it. Mark and Mark's Mission Lab both showcases and preserves all those action figure, after-school cartoon-style vibes that we enjoyed as kids. And it's kind of everything you love about 80s TV rolled into one. There's all the action and adventure of shows like G.I. Joe, He-Man, or Mask.
We fight.
Plus, plenty of science fiction elements like we enjoyed in Thundar, Bravestar, or Voltron.
Okay, give me a hammer.
Who's the mark in the stone now? Blast it all! Impudent piece of crockery! You are about 14 parsecs away from landing in the most dangerous point in all known space, time, and existence, where you'll be staring down pure evil face to face. I mean, this is what you two do for a living. isn't it?
That's right.
A healthy dose of comedy reminiscent of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Smurfs, and Inspector Gadget.
No way the Bartman would ever enlist those two dopes to save his own butt.
Do you think it's all somehow connected?
Does a polar bear fart in the snow?
Yes, Mark. Polar bears do fart in the snow.
Exactly. And with enough mass that it might just possibly disrupt the gravitational force of the wormhole, causing it to collapse in on itself. We need something very, very dense.
And it wouldn't be complete without just a touch of Scooby-Doo-like spooky scares and light horror. With so much packed in, I asked Mike and Seth where they got the know-how to put together such a complex production.
Mike and I have both been filmmakers for as long as we've known each other, and I had the opportunity to go work in New Mexico in the film industry out there for the better part of a decade, where I was able to work on big, amazing shows like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Mr. Robot, and a slew of other great productions that really helped me cut my teeth and learn the ins and outs of the film industry. And what's really interesting is that I went from managing large-scale locations down to creating and shooting tiny little sets in a basement.
It's not just the designing and creating of sets that we do. We also together have written scripts, come up with the storylines, edited the show,
Lighting and booting it, creating original music, even voice acting.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part, is that Mike and I were not voice actors before this, but we had to for this show. So
in case you're wondering who does which voice, or any voices,
hi, I'm Mark. And I'm Mark. And if you think that we stink, go ahead and let us know in the comments. We'll try to do better at our voice acting. We promise.
If any of this strikes a nostalgic chord in you, like it has with me, then I'd encourage you to check out Mark and Mark's Mission Lab right here on YouTube. Of course, I'll throw links down in the description of this video, but I'm going to give the guys the last word here.
Ultimately, what we hope that you as a viewer take away from watching our show is knowing that you had the chance to take something from your era that you loved, that you enjoyed playing with, and giving the kids of this generation a chance to enjoy as much as you did.
and we also hope that our show can inspire kids of today to be as creative and imaginative as we were in creating the show.
Yeah, so go over to YouTube and check out Mark and Mark's Mission Lab.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, you better.
It's Mark and Mark's Mission Lab. We're mission to save the day. Permission granted.
Mark and Mark's Mission Lab.